welcome to my channel. My name is Milo. If you're new and haven't seen before my videos, I paint usually with oil and sometimes I draw with pencil and charcoal. This is my palette on the left. It's always limited almost, but now I added a few other colors. My reference photo also in the left. I painted this one on wood panel and I started drawing with raw umber, just a rough sketch. This was not so easy to paint. I don't know what I did wrong, but I wasn't so happy and I almost gave up in the middle of it. But then I thought I need to continue and let's see what's going to happen and if I can fix all the mistakes I done during the process, and I believe it's gonna be beneficial for you also to hear my thought during the process. Number one mistakes I felt the choice of my brush. It was just too stiff, too hard to, and it didn't flow my hand. Number two mistakes, it was the flow in the paint. I believe I had just too little turpentine, and this is something just reminds me of sometimes I need to prepare much better and plan my session. For that I need almost 30 minutes to 1 hour before I start painting to plan my painting, and it's including the choosing reference photo, what I'm gonna painting on, which palette I'm gonna use and which brushes, and also some other routines as just getting in the zone, maybe pre-meditation or just going for a walk and refresh my thoughts before I'm sitting and start painting. This is one thing I have in my mind when I start painting. I don't want to jump from something else directly to painting session. I want just reset and start painting later. Anyway, I continued with this painting and was thinking I hope I can fix these problems, these mistakes. But remember, a painting session or any painting is about patience, and there is as a painting I always see that I do so many mistakes actually during the process, but I'm trying to fix them and don't give up, because it is easy when you are in this stage and the drawing and the values don't look as we see in the reference photo, so it's easy just to give up and start at a new project, a new painting. But the benefit of oil paint is you can always adjust at any time actually, especially when you paint Alla-prima and the paint is wet and it's easy to just move around. If it's too thick, so we can just wipe off the paint, take off the paint with a palette knife and repaint. So 20 to 30 minutes to just do a rough sketch, and 30 minutes to 1 hour, that's gonna be, it's always challenging, and I call it ugly stage because it doesn't look good, and actually sometimes it's I want to start something new, but you have to be patient and keep going. Another mistake I have sometimes is just too little paint, as you can see on my palette. I need to have much more, like 10 times more paint on my palette. So it's not good if you run out of the paint and trying to the little paint you have on a palette, trying to paint with that, and it's not going to be a good result at all. So I have a lot of paint because you can at the end of the session you can always save the paint, so nothing going to be lost. Just marking my highlights and keep it still very simple. So until here the color mixing is not so important. Values and shapes and the drawing are much more important. So many questions about the paint and brushes I use. One thing I can tell, just especially for beginners, when your painting doesn't look good at the end, sometimes it's not the brushes, most of the time it's not the brushes and the paint, it could be in many cases the drawing and values actually. So spend a lot of time on drawing and values before you go to the mixing colors. So flat shapes, just want to block in the shapes, the bigger shapes, what I see in my reference, and in this stage matching the exact value colors doesn't matter so much. Too little space for mixing my colors, but I wanted to include you in the video so you can see how I mix my colors. I built one parallel palette in some of my videos. You can see it beside panel I'm painting on. I believe it went like 2 hours in this painting, in this process, and still wasn't happy with what I'm doing. Usually 1 hour to the painting, I'm pretty happy with how I solve my sketch and values and color mixing, but this one was really tough. And also one thing else, I noticed that my studio light wasn't that good. I'm sorry for the quality of the video. Best time for me to paint in my studio, it's between 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. 3-4 hours actually. After that the sun's coming at the other side of the studio and affect my lighting, because I use both studio lights and natural light, and between those hours the light is just perfect. This one I believe it's in the after 3 p.m. Someone comment in the post I posted for this painting, and the photo reference is a girl from Iran. I didn't know that. I just found it on the Pinterest and I thought this is interesting to paint. Something I see in many beginners paintings, that they have too many jumps between the shapes. For example, for the hair on this painting, you want, if you look at the reference, so you see the whole shape of the hair, it's just something dark, and the jumps between light and dark in the hair, it's not too obvious, so you need to keep that really subtle, very close to the whole shape. Same thing for the face. You want the values you value very close to each other. So some shapes in this process, or any portrait paintings, or any paintings actually, some places are really important to get correct. Like this one, you want to those small shapes in the eyes, around the mouth and nose, and transition from dark to light. You want them to be correct, and some shapes like the hair, the dress and the background, it can be very messy. The highlights just get too light. I hope I can fix it. It was challenging a whole way actually to get flow in the paint. I don't know why. I It could be the panel I'm painting on just too, I don't know, just maybe too dry. The quality of it, it didn't feel very good. So these Alla-prima projects or portraits I'm posting on YouTube, they are usually between 2 hours and 3 hours, sitting one session, and really not about so much about the likeness, because I need much more times to get the likeness, and I have done that before with live model and master copies, but I want to have just something to look at and just design and paint in a style I like. I can, if I add two more sessions for this one, like 10 hours, almost 10 hours, so I can the likeness actually pretty correct, but that's not so important actually. For me it's more about values, designing, color mixing, the whole painting, just something interesting to paint. I'm not hyper or photorealistic painter. I just want to design my own paintings and see all the brush strokes, because when I go and look others work, it's more interesting for me to see all the brush strokes and color mixing and the painting, how they did solve this kind of stuff, like small shapes. I don't care so much about the likeness of the person. It's not important actually. It's not commission work. If it's commission and someone wants to, then the likeness is very important to paint as they want, or as the photo or the model. So copying in the beginning, when you just started this in the painting journey, and copying is really benefits. Some people say don't ever copy. I believe that's I don't ever have everyone has opinion on how to do, but I believe copying is really good way to learn how to paint, how to draw. And then when you learn to the style, the technique, you can go by yourself and design and paint in the style you like. But in the beginning, you can copy any painters you want, different styles, and after a while you probably going to find some painters that you like more than others, and you can just use that style. And it takes also maybe years to have own styles, own niche. So don't hurry with that. Portrait painters I copied and watched and used as just to learn from, or Sargent and Anderson. There is plenty out there actually, even live. Is they are alive right now. There is one I'm thinking of. It's his name is Robert Libraci, I believe. And I remember like 10 years ago I found a video of him painting an Alla-prima, just 2-3 minutes, but I always have him in my mind. That's his style. It's impressionist and really good at painting. Maybe you saw, so I didn't draw or paint the teeth. When you work around the mouth with lips and get the shape and values right, and by darken it down or lighten up, so the teeth become coming out as a shape, as you can see. And if you want, you can draw it from the beginning, exact the shape, but the paint and the brush strokes do the work for you actually. This style may be confusing some people who never painted like this. It's really hard, still challenging every day. But when you understand how to arrange your shapes, values, the drawing with just paint, it's so fun actually to paint like this. But I always recommend do the sketch before everything. Two hours in this session started actually like it a little bit. One trick you can use when you have a reference photo in your phone or iPad or on your computer, you can go and edit the photo and play with the values and colors a little bit, because some photos are just too bright, the shapes are not too clear. So you can darken down something or lighten up, but play with it, and when you are happy, so you can choose it, because so many photos actually not that good for painting from. I took off the highlight in the eyes You probably don't see in the reference photo that there is a pretty small highlight maybe, but there is a highlight there, and it's I need to be careful just not to have it too light, because when I'm squinting it's not so light that I had before. Some keywords I always have in my mind when I start the painting. So there is a drawing keyword, good drawing, my line quality, values, simplifying. Those words are just keywords for me to, okay, I need to have a good drawing, good sketch. I need to values right, the line quality, like which lines are sharp, which lines is just smooth and soft, lost and found edges, and after all that, just when you simplify everything, like the shapes are clear, don't go by modeling them too much. You can wait with that, and when you're happy with your drawing, your values, you can go for color mixing, transition between the shapes, and designing your own way. Try it out. If you're not happy, you can always change it. Up there I'm just dotting actually different values, different colors. I use the paint left on the panel for the background. I use my palette knife. Now I got a little bit better quality of the painting. I use my palette knife for some details in the hair. Just scraping the little bit of the paint and get some small details and highlights. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a comment if you have questions, and I hope to see you in the next one. Have a nice day. Take care. Happy painting.